Fine students, this is Sumanchaswal, your English teacher. So how are all of you? Good? I'm fine too, thank you. So any suggestions what we should do today? Okay, so today I have brought for you some grammar. Okay, today I will be doing a grammar class because this is one very important topic in which you get very confused and you are not able to identify, and you get so like I was doing spotting the errors. So this rule I found that the rules for this should be known to you, then it will be easy for you to spot the error. Okay, I had done an exercise on spotting the errors with articles, nouns, verbs, etc. And this is known as, so let's get started. This is known as if conditional sentences. Okay, if the sentence, if it starts with if, okay, it is known as conditional sentences. And there are two clauses in that. Okay, so how do we understand and where do we put what? That is very important. Okay, so we have to follow the rules. Now, in these conditional sentences, in which if is used, okay, then how or what the rules are. First condition, okay, the first condition. If you are using if with simple present, then the second clause will be will plus verb in the first form. If you are using a sentence if in simple present, then the second clause will be with simple will plus verb in the first form. For example, see an example. If I go to the cinema, okay, if I go to the cinema, I will plus verb in the first form. I will take you along. If I go is simple present. If sentence we are using simple present, then the second clause will be with will plus verb in the first form. Will plus take is the worst form of take, took, taken. So first form. So if you are using the if sentence in simple present, the second clause will be will plus verb in the first form. If I go to the cinema, I will take you along. Take another example. If I study, I will close the door. Okay. If I study, first form, simple present, I will close the door. Will plus verb in the first form. Close, closed, closed. If I study, I will close the door. Okay. Take another one. Get it absolutely clear that in the if clause, if you are using simple present, in the second clause you will use will plus verb in the first form. If I will work hard, if I work hard, I will pass. Okay. If I work hard, work, simple present. If sentence, if clause, simple present. Second clause, will plus verb in the first form. Will pass. What are the three forms of pass? Verb pass, past, past. Okay. So the first condition is that if sentence, if it is in simple present, the second clause will be will plus verb in the first form. Have you understood, students? Now take the second condition. Take the second condition. Second condition is second condition. If the if clause is in simple past, here it was simple present, simple past, then in the second clause we have to use would plus verb in the first one. Now you can take the same sentences. If I went to the cinema, I would take you. I would take you along. Now here earlier I had said if I go, simple present. But now I have taken simple past. If I went to the cinema, I would take. Would plus verb in the would take you along. If I studied, I said if I study, I will close the door. Now I have changed into past. If I studied, I would close the door. So here, what is the rule? If clause, it is in simple past, then in the second clause, we have to use would plus verb in the first form. Okay? If I worked hard, I would pass. If I worked hard, I would pass. Okay? So the second condition is the if clause is in simple past. The second clause will be would plus verb in the first form. Okay? Now third condition. Keep on drawing and writing down the sentences, examples and make the flowchart. Like I always tell you, a flowchart is so important for you to help you to learn. Okay? So kindly make a flowchart. It is the best way to learn and memorize. Now third condition. Third condition, if the if clause is in past perfect. Now what is past perfect? Past perfect is had plus V3. I've gone through the tenses. You can see in my video about tenses. Past perfect is had plus V3. Then the second clause will have would have plus verb in the first form. Okay? Let's do it here. Example. If I had studied. Okay, I am using past perfect. Had plus verb in the third form. Study, studied, study. If I had studied, I would have passed. If I had studied, I would have passed. Verb in the third form. Okay? If I had studied, I would have passed. So, I've used past perfect here and here I've used would have plus V3. Okay? Try another example. If I had worked hard, I would have passed. If I had worked hard, had worked, verb in the past perfect, verb in the third form. So if clause is in past perfect, then the second clause will be would have plus V3, verb in the third form, past. If I had stayed at home, the accident would not have happened. I'm using not here, but I'm using the same rule. Would have happened. Verb in the third form. Would have plus verb in the third. Happened, happened, happened. Always when I give you a work, I always tell you the three forms. because again and again repeatedly when you go through the verbs are very important for a sentence, for tenses, for direct, indirect, narration, for your passive, active voice and everything. Okay, language, speaking grammatically correct, so you should know your verbs. Okay, so the third condition is that if the if clause is in past perfect, had plus verb in the third form, then the second clause will have would have plus V3 verb in the third form. Okay, now comes the zero condition. This is known as the zero condition, which is true. Okay, which is true. Okay, so in this both are simple present. Now see, this is a true thing, a fact. So this is a zero condition. If the water boils, which is water boils, what will happen? Steam will be formed. It turns into steam. If the water boils, boil is the first form of the verb, simple present. It turns into steam. Turn. Turn is the first form of the verb. V1. Turn, turn, turn. Boil, boil, boil. So if the water boils, it turns into steam. This is a zero condition, which is a true fact. There is no two ways about it. Okay. So this is known as zero condition. In the if clause is also in present and the second clause is also in simple present. Okay. What is simple present? V1. What is simple present? V1. What is simple past? V2. Okay, so remember the three conditions and the fourth is the zero condition. Okay. First condition, if clause is in simple present, the second clause will be will plus verb in the first form. In the second condition, if the if clause is in simple past, the second clause will be in would plus V1. Third condition, if plus clause is in past perfect, it will be second clause will would have plus V3. And zero condition, if plus simple present, and the second clause will also have simple present. Now let's do one mixed exercise. Okay? Let's do an exercise so that we make ourselves clear. Okay? Now let me use if he runs, complete karo. If he runs, first clause, I am using if he runs, means which condition I am using? First one, which is simple present. Run is simple present. If he runs, what will come in the second clause? He will win the race. Will win. Will plus verb in the first form. Now see another one. Take another one. If he ran fast, take the second condition. He would win the race. Would plus verb in the first form. Now take in the third condition. If he had run fast, he would have, would plus have plus V3. He would have, what is the third form of win? Win, won. And please don't say won. Okay? I told you the pronunciation of WON is also one. He would have plus verb in the third form. He would have won the race. Okay? So all three conditions I have given you the sentence. Same sentence in all. If he runs fast, I forgot to put fast here. If he runs fast, he will win the race. Simple present, and here will plus V1. If he ran fast, simple past, he would win the race. If he had run fast, he would have won the race. Okay? And zero condition, if he runs, he wins. Means he is a champion. He is a natural winner. If he runs, he wins. So both are simple present. Here I am trying to tell you that if he runs, if he takes part, he is undoubtedly going to be the winner. Okay. So this we can use in the, but we should generally use in two statements. Okay. So these are the three conditions. Okay. Please make this flow chart. It is so helpful and it will really make you understand and be able to identify and frame your own sentences. Okay, let me do one more sentence in all the three conditions to give you a complete practice. Let's do the first condition. If he goes to the, let's not do goes. Studies hard, he will pass. If he studies hard, simple present, and second clause will plus verb in the first form. He will pass. Change it into the second condition. If he studied hard, he would pass. Simple past and would plus V1. Third condition, if he had studied hard, he would have passed. Would plus have plus V3. Okay, so all three conditions may be used in simple present, we use will plus verb V1. Simple past, we use would plus V1. Past perfect, had plus V3, we use would have plus V3. Okay. If it rains, let's take another condition. If it rains, I will stay at home. If it rains, simple present, will plus verb in the first form. I will stay at home. Take the second condition. If it rained, what is the second form of rain? Rain, rain, rain. If it rained, I would stay at home. Now take the third condition. Past perfect. If it had rained, had plus V3, I would have stayed at home. I would have stayed at home. Okay, so you saw the three conditions. Apply the rule and you will get the right. Okay, so you have to identify if sentence, which is it simple present, is it simple past, or is it past perfect, and you will know that what you have to put in the second clause. Okay, so please make this flowchart, learn the rule, okay, and then you will be perfect. Okay, so thank you students. Today my class was of if conditional sentences. This is very important for identifying the errors and being able to understand how to use. We so many times say, if I would have done this, if I did this, if I could go there. We keep on saying this if sentence. So we should be knowing that what is the right way to use. Okay. Another thing in if I want to tell you, we always use with I was. I was going to the market. With I we always use was. But when we use if, okay, then we use were. If I were the Prime Minister, okay, then we use were, not if I was the Prime Minister. Okay, simple, it is simple past. So if I were the Prime Minister, I would plus I would remove poverty. Okay. Rule is same. Your simple past and you use would plus verb in the first form. Remove, removed, remove. But this I we don't use if sentence. With I we don't use was. We say were. If I were a bird, if I were the Prime Minister of India, if I were an astronaut, if I were a millionaire, okay, then with I we use were. Dreamer, okay. So these were the conditional sentences which we did today. Kindly note them down, note down the rules, and you will be perfect. Okay. So thank you, students. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and God bless all of you.